Okay, so in this quick video, I just want to talk about the reflections when you're sketching a car in side view and what to think about. So I'm going to cover the horizon line and the sky reflections and also highlighting and shading basically. So let's start with sketching just a generic car in side view. Okay, so we have our side view here. I hope you can see it. It's kind of loosely sketched, but we're gonna fill it out right now. So the first thing you want to do is put out the horizon line, because the car is always standing on some sort of plane, and you always have a horizon reflected in the side of the car. And that usually goes in the middle of the body, so somewhere around here, like that. And this area above it is usually facing upwards because this is a curve. It curves and go up to the greenhouse here. So that's a curve, and it's going to reflect the sky instead of the horizon. So this line here is actually the horizon line, and then usually cars have some sort of, especially sports cars, have a surface down here that is facing upwards. So this, we're gonna keep this lighter than the rest of the color here. And you can extend the horizon line at the rear fender and the front as well, like that. And also this C-pillar here is also facing our way. So it's facing towards us, it's not facing upwards. Same with the window. So the horizon is going to show in here too. So I'm going to put that out. I'm not bothering now with any design features and stuff like that. I'm just making it as simple as possible because we're covering the reflections here in this video and not really the design phase. So now that we have the outline of our reflection, what we want to do is start with the lightest marker. And I just did this video. This is the second time I'm doing this video because I used some weird markers, these markers, and I'm not really used to them. And that messed up my entire sketch. So I need to practice with these. I'm using Copics right now. Hopefully that will get a better result. Now I'm gonna stick to cool gray just for the ease of the tutorial. So I'm gonna start with cool gray 4. It's light enough to start with. And just go over the horizon line reflection here. And I can tell this marker is a bit dry. But that actually gives us some cool effects if it's starting to get dry. We can almost shade with this marker. Same thing at the back here. We have a surface that is facing towards us, so it is still reflecting the horizon. And this part in the front as well. Also, we have this surface up here, which is facing towards us, and then it gets round and starting to face towards the sky. So we don't want to go too high up with this reflection. It depends on the shape of the car, of course, but Usually I fill in this line as well with gray. And the baseline. The baseline I'm going to go over with black before I'm finishing the sketch off, just to make it look planted on the ground. Since this is the lowest surface and not a lot of light is reflecting from this surface right here because it's so close to the ground. Okay, I think that looks good for the Cool Gray 4. We can go into a darker shade from here. I also want to fill in the roof line, just a little bit. Don't worry if you mess up, you can always, there's always ways to go back and fix it. If not, just start a new sketch. Simple as that. Alright, I'm happy with the Cool Gray 4, so I'm going to go in with Cool Gray 6. So what you want to do with the darker gray now is go and fill in this center part of the horizon line, or horizon reflection. And markers work so that the faster you go with the pen, the lighter the shade. So you can actually shade with markers, but you need to be fast, and that takes some practice. But if you do it every day, I'm sure you'll learn how to shade with markers as well. Something like that. And also fill in the front here. And this part right there. Alright, I think I'm gonna go back even lighter, so I'm gonna use a Cool Gray 2 just for these areas here. I don't want them to be completely white. I want them to have, since this is it's a gray car, so the white should only be on the highlights where it's reflecting 100%. So you don't even see a color, but the rest of the car should be some shade of gray. So I guess that works better. I mean, if you want, this could be more than enough now to stop here and just start to fill in the black, because we have to define the shape of the car, and people understand what it looks like. So what we can do from here is just to fill in the black, and I'm starting with filling in the bottom, the baseline of the car, also the wheels. And if you want, you can use, I know there are some templates for doing wheels, just to get them 100% round. If you're having issues getting them round, you can use templates like that. And also, if you want, you can fill in the outline of the greenhouse with this black, or if you don't want it to be thick like this, you can use just a pen. But I'm going to use this marker for this one. And also the rims, of course. I'm gonna go with a cool gray 8, and I'm using the thick end. I'm just gonna go with it like this, because usually wheels take a lot of time to sketch, and it's not always I have the patience to do every single spoke. And this technique right here saves a lot of time when it comes to sketching rims. So you can try it out if you want to. Basically what you need to keep in mind throughout the sketch is just where the light is coming from. And in this case, the light is coming from the top, because we have the sky up here and we have the ground which the car is standing on, and we have the horizon here. And if you keep that in mind, it's gonna make the whole thing a lot easier to decide where you want to put the highlights and where you want to put the darker areas and so on. Alright, then I'm gonna fill in the tires and connect it to axles. And I'm doing that by just making a line. I'm gonna show you just in a second. Just by connecting these two with a ground shadow like this. It's not perfect, but it's okay. And I'm also putting these out since this is a car it's still in perspective, so we're gonna see the far side wheels if we just lower the camera. We're still gonna see the far side wheels under the car. I'm gonna make the headlights and the rear lights black, just because I don't know where my red marker is and I'm too lazy to look for it right now. I'm just gonna make it black. Okay, so that's the basic layout of a car inside view, and what to think about when you are reflecting, when you're putting the reflections on the car. So step number one is always remember where the light source is. And this applies to any sketch you're doing. You should always keep in mind where the light is coming from, because it's going to help you a lot in your decisions on where to put stuff, where to put the white things like these and where to put the darker stuff. And from here we can start to, we can just finish this up by going over with a big pen and sharpen the lines up. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So I'm going to put some blue in the reflections just to make it look a bit more interesting than just gray. And this is a really light blue, so it doesn't really affect the gray. It's just showing the sky being reflected in the body of the car. I'm still keeping some areas white because those are the really high reflecting areas, such as this part here, the rear fender here. I think that's good. So now let's go into the white ink and start putting some highlights in here. So what to think about here is, think about where the burn points are. And by burn points I mean the points, the sharp points where you have really high reflections. So for example, spokes on a rim. Usually one edge of a spoke is going to appear white because it's being reflected. Because the light is being reflected so hard, since it's a sharp edge. So that's exactly what I'm doing right now. Something like that, and then you, if you want to, you can go ahead and just add some random we have the parting line here, where the horizon goes to sky in the body of the reflection here. You might want to put a white line in here, just to get some glossiness in the body panels. That's if you have a glossy car, of course. You might want to sketch something matte, and then you obviously don't want to put a lot of reflection out like this. But yeah, that's about it. I think we're finished with this sketch. Just a basic side view and what to think about when putting out the reflections on your sketch. So I hope this video was helpful, and if it was, please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you know anybody that would love to know more about stuff like this, make sure you share this video with them. I'm sure they will appreciate you for it. Alright, take it easy, and I'll see you in the next video.